I have an article here from thatparkplace.com. Unity game developer Scott Anderson defends Marvel's Black Panther developers' race-based hiring discrimination. Talking about Dani Lalonders and her race-based hiring discrimination while she developed her game, Validate. She admitted to race-based hiring discrimination during a presentation for the Game Devs of Color Expo 2021 that was recently brought to the public's attention after Lalonders defended Sweet Baby Inc. and admitted she was a racist. She's talking about Validate has a team of all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for the environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me, which is incredibly racist. Not all black people are the same. Not all white people are the same. Not all Latino people, Asian people, Native Americans, so on and so forth. Not all gay people are the same. Not all straight people, all that stuff. It's absurd and just absolutely ridiculous when people try to act like it is the same. But anyway, I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something may be okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while you're trying to make a game that they love. Blah, blah, blah. As noted above, Lalonders' comments were brought to attention when she accused gamers of racism. She has some tweets here. Gamers have been really racist lately, and I'm trying to ignore it, but it's hard not to when I see it sometimes. Just creating problems in your head. I don't understand the outrage over video games, especially games they have no interest to play. Another series, a couple days later, I just stopped taking y'all seriously when y'all started running around saying white people can experience racism. I did not suffer through 2020 for y'all to act like you weren't an ally to BLM 4 years later. Posting that tired ass screenshot of the Google definition of racism. I just don't care anymore. So she's one of those types. People, they kind of come back at her. Haha, so being appropriately called racist is tiresome, hun. Or huh? You could try not being racist. Yeah, I'm racist, so what now? So if you think you can be racist to white people, you literally are. And of course, she's got more, I'm sure. But this is, I guess, the cream of the crop. I didn't apply anything. Racism and prejudice are not the same thing. Racism is systematic. She means systemic, but whatever. White people are not systematically affected negatively by racism. Certain groups of white people throughout history have been affected by prejudice based on where they're from. Blah, blah, blah. Then they get to Scott Anderson here, and he defended her on X, saying people calling a black woman building a studio with all POC are racist and equating it to a white man starting an all-white studio is wild. If the power imbalances that actually existed in reality were different, sure, but there is no way these things are equivalent. This is, of course, ignoring that white men start studios that are all or mostly white men all the time, and no one cares. Anderson then justified the race-based discrimination, basically saying, worst case scenario, this is a result of trauma, not a desire for exclusion, and definitely not supremacy. Context is completely ignored in all of these discussions. This is a valid self-preservation tactic for black people, not a way to gain power over others. This is in response to, this guy. I believe it's the fact that she specifically said she refuses to hire any white people on the stipulation that they all make it an unsafe environment, which is by and large a textbook definition of racism. And the article ends. I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. I kind of glossed over some of it, but for the most part, it was all pretty much there. I pretty much covered the whole thing. This is absolutely absurd. First off, the idea that white people can't be discriminated against, that you can't be racist to white people, that is so stupid and so idiotic. And I hate when people try to, basically, because they're trying to change the definition of the word. It's racism is prejudice plus power, as if there aren't a lot of black people in this country who don't have power. It's absurd, and to be quite honest, it's offensive to people who actually go through racism. And I'm talking specifically in this case, even if you just want to talk about the black people in this country who experience racism, it's offensive to them when you try to call all this other stuff racism. There are black people in this country who are called, I'm not going to say the words, of course, because I never say the words, but the N word or various other slurs they try to say and stuff. And you're trying to equate that to this little stupid microaggression. Oh, they asked me, oh, can I touch your hair? Which, I've never done that in my life. I've never seen anyone actually do that in my life, but I'm sure it happens because, I see people complaining about it or talking about it sometimes and stuff, but those are not the same things. Yeah, is it stupid to say, hey, can I touch your hair? Yeah, because that's kind of like, what? Why do you want to touch their hair for? What the hell? Or just various other things and stuff. These are not all racism is the same, basically. And I hate when people try to act like it is. They do it for everything too, whether it be homophobia or Islamophobia. They always love throwing that one out there. Transphobia, whatever the hell it is. You know, misogynism and all that kind of stuff. It's just absurd when people try to act as if all things are equal. And in this case, you know damn well what would happen if there was a studio and there was a man or a white woman or whatever, white man, white woman, who came out and said that they don't want to hire black people because, well, they create an unsafe environment because of the violence they can bring and so on and such forth and stuff. You know exactly what the reaction would be. And they want to talk about, well, it's because the power dynamic is off base and blah blah blah. All this, yeah, it's a bunch of horse shit. That's absolutely absurd. So you're telling me that I've got more power in this country than LeBron James? I've got more power in this country than Oprah Winfrey or so on and so forth. It's just stupid. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, like I said, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.